This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome back Jazzy Jeff Real Talk, man. What's up, bro?
Ain't not much, man. Just maintaining, hanging in there.
That's for sure, man. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media platform.
A lot of people know me, Jazzy Jeff Real Talk. No gimmicks. Bring that real Falcons talk to real Falcons fans. You can catch me on YouTube, Jazzy Jeff Real Talk. Twitter, same name.
That's what's up, man. You keeping it real. There's no gimmick. There's just keeping it 100, man. That's what's up. Yeah, man. So this is an interesting week, man. The Atlanta Falcons and the Niners, man. This is like one of the old school rivalries before it became a separate division, man.
Oh yeah, we started off in the NFC West and then we moved. But I think both teams are kind of moving in newer territories, especially with the quarterbacks. At least we thought until Trey Lance got hurt.
Yeah, we go back to square one with Jimmy. I guess that's a good thing. We have insurance policy, right?
Better than what we got. So I mean, the reverse is we want the backup to play in Atlanta. So that's the problem we got. But as long as Mariota keeps staying in these close games, Arthur Smith is not going to move him. So.
I mean, he's your bridge quarterback. He's a guy for the short term. So, like you said, I mean, but Mariota isn't playing too bad. I mean, he's doing a good job, like giving your offense some explosiveness. Like a lot of your games have been a lot close. But what I've noticed about the Falcons is they've been able to run the ball a lot more than expected. You know, there's been games where they were a little bit behind, but they stuck with that formula, dude.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The games are close not because of Mariota. The games are close because of the defense in the run game. That's what's keeping us in the games. If you actually watched all of our games, so the Saints game we should have won, but Mariota fumbled in the fourth quarter when we were about to take a 2-score lead, and the Saints came back and won. The Rams game we came all the way back with the defense and scoring, and then Mariota throws a pick to Jalen Ramsey that ends the game right there. So. And then obviously the Bucs game, Grady Jarrett got screwed over on the roughing the passer, which was absolute bullshit on Tom Brady, and that should not have been a roughing. But we were close in all these games. But Mariota limits our offense so much. I mean, Kyle Pitts, he went from even in Matt Ryan's worst down year last year, Kyle Pitts had 1,000 yards receiving, and now this man can't sniff, pedestrian numbers. I mean, y'all think Kittle's having a bad season in San Fran. No, Kyle Pitts is worse, and that's all because of Marcus Mariota, man. He's great when he could run the football. That's the part that you might notice, and people see that and say, oh yeah, he looks good. But when he can't run the football, he's one read, take off and run. He does not scan the field. He's not a pocket passer, and that's where it really hurts not having a guy like Matt Ryan. So
yeah, I've noticed that Mariota is a great runner. Like I've seen how mobile he is. I mean, like you said, he's a one-read passer, which we've seen from his time in Tennessee and what he did with the Raiders. But it's like, the thing that really stands out about Atlanta is like, I don't know, Mariota just doesn't seem as bad. But like you said, you want the long-term answer, but you want that kid from the one you guys drafted from Louisville, that Ritter guy, right? Or was it Cincinnati?
Cincinnati. They lost to Alabama in the championship round. Ritter actually played really good in that game. His team let him down. The defense let him down. But yeah, he's I don't know if you watch preseason, but he's an actual pocket passer. He can run. He ran like a 4.344, but he doesn't run only when he has to. So he's an actual pocket passer. He actually reads the defense. He actually goes 1, 2, 3 progresses. And in the preseason, he outplayed Mariota. But our coach, Arthur Smith, you know anything about the Falcons, he doesn't like playing rookies. He has this thing about playing rookies, and he will play veterans in all positions that might not be as better as the rookies because he believes more in experience. So another guy, we had Eric Smith at safety. Eric Smith is terrible, but Arthur Smith started him over Richie Grant. And now Richie Grant's playing, and he's literally by Pro Football Focus, he's a top 10 safety. But I knew that all along. Falcons fans knew that all along, but Arthur Smith wasn't going to play him. So to me, it's kind of the same thing with Ritter. Like, we all know Ritter's better. We've all seen Marcus Mariota. It ain't like he a rookie. We all seen him. He was a backup on the Raiders last year for a reason. So, in my opinion, I think because Matt Ryan left and we needed to keep something competitive, we got the Band-Aid quarterback. But if we didn't get him, I don't think any other team would have picked up Mariota. I think he would have stayed as a backup. So what does that tell you?
Well, his value, and plus, like you said, maybe very little teams were interested, but maybe more as a backup. But you guys were really in need of a quarterback because of what happened with Matt Ryan. Like, the Falcons situation was they were flirting with Deshaun Watson. They were trying to hit it off, and then Matt Ryan's like that one wife that catches the husband cheating. It's over. I'm out of here.
Hey, if there was one thing I'm glad the Falcons blew was blowing the Deshaun Watson trade, because I'm glad that didn't go through. I did not want to be stuck with this man suspended 11 games, 21 allegations. He just got a new allegation this week. So I don't know if that guy's ever going to play. So I'm glad we blew that one, because what was 3 first-round picks?
Yeah, there was
I'm not doing no 3 first-round picks for a dude who ain't going to play, and he might not play ever again. That's just – we're a rebuilding team. It ain't like he was going to take us to the promised land off just him. So I'm straight on that, and I'm glad we didn't mess that up.
Yeah, for real. Hey, I guess there's somebody that used to follow you or still follows you to this day, man. I guess he hasn't seen you post videos in a long time.
Hey, man, I posted a video like a week and a half ago, so I don't know what this dude's talking about, but I appreciate that he follows me. And no, I haven't gone into witness protection or anything, man. I'm still out here. I was just living life and working real hard, man. So, but I'm back though, so don't worry.
Yeah, he's good, man. I think you posted a video like a few days, like a week ago or something. But the point is, you got every right to be critical about that situation, because having Deshaun Watson would have created a lot of baggage under that team, and it would look bad on Arthur Smith's part too to get that quarterback. I mean, he's good, but all that trouble is not worth it, man. Like, he's not going to even play it down. It seems like there's a lot of charges, and it's going to get worse and worse. Atlanta just needed to get somebody for the long haul, even though Matt Ryan was your guy. But at some point, you got to move on. But you just couldn't find the answer. But maybe down the road, you want to see what Ritter can do. If Mariota doesn't step it up late in the season, this is when you definitely need to play the kid.
Right, and this is the last year of all the dead cap hits that we had to eat. So Matt Ryan's contract, Julio's contract, a couple other guys. So after this, our cap is we gonna have one of the best teams with cap space. So we're actually gonna be able to make splashes in free agency to build our team that way as well. The defense is coming along. The run game is coming along. The offensive line, which we all coming into as Falcon fan coming into the season, we thought the offensive line was gonna be atrocious because Matt Ryan took the most sacks last year out of any other quarterback in the league. But actually, our offensive line has been a strength. Now, that's where I give Mariota credit, because he's more mobile, so he's not just going to stand there and just keep taking sacks like Ryan did. But at the same time, Ryan's a better pocket passer. So next year, we're going to have possibly Ridley back. We're going to have Drake London another year, Kyle Pitts another year, Cordell Patterson back. If Ritter starts, I think our offense is going to be so much more explosive. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But enough about my team. What about these Niners, man? Y'all go through a lot of injuries, man. Your running backs, it seems like every time I watch the Niners, their running backs are always hurt. But they always come right back in and plug right back in, and they often running again like it's no problem. It's that system. Kyle Shanahan got those running backs humming.
Yeah, dude. It's like that one running back gets hurt, and it takes them a week or two to adapt to this offense, and they just get it immediately. Like, Jeff Wilson's been a guy that's kind of been part of the system for quite a while. He's played under Shanahan for 5 years, so he's kind of like that one running back he can trust. Like, if you need him for pass blocks, he can do that. Pass catcher, he's a good receiving back. I mean, Mitchell we really like, but he just can't stay healthy. But when we get him on the field, that guy's explosive, very fast. But Jeff Wilson's more like your physical type of runner, not your 4.3 speed guy. No, he's more like a 4.5 guy. Just runs it in between the tackles, and he's just gonna knock you down. But yeah, like when you look at the running backs, dude, they are injured, bro. It's either Shanahan just kills them, bro. Like more carries, keeps expecting too much out of them. That's the problem.
And tell me what's going on with George Kittle, because I got him on a couple of fantasy teams. I couldn't even start him anymore, bro. So is it this year? Are they just making him saying him to block more, or what is it? Is Jimmy G not finding him open? Why is he not dominating like I used to see him dominating?
Oh, to answer that question for you is it's got to do with the offensive line issue, because Trent Williams has been out, and it will take a while. But he got his targets last week, but not as much. He's just been more of a blocker. Like maybe late in the season, you'll definitely get the old Kittle, but right now you're just getting a Kittle that's going to do the dirty work. So it's like, yeah, the stats don't speak itself, but since we lost Trent Williams for a little while, we're on to our third string tackle. So it's like he has to like help him out a little bit, like kind of like we go from, dude, these injuries are no joke, but we're on to our third string tackle.
Hey, man, I don't know if I can wait that long. I might have to trade Kittle's ass. I don't know.
Hey, man, but you might have to wait late in the season to get this guy. But right now, you ain't going to get him. But
tell me about Jimmy G. Are you – so every time I watch sports talk shows, it's like either Jimmy G is good because he wins a bunch of games, or Jimmy G only wins because of the defense and the system and the run game. What side of the fence are you on Jimmy G?
He just wins because of the running game. He runs because of our defense is good. It's because the system under Shanahan, he just knows how to perfect it. Like, when you need that quick release, he'll throw it. If you need that one guy to be a natural pocket passer and can read the defense a little bit here and there, that's your guy. But he's not like he's not going to take you to the next level. He's just going to get you to the position to where you need to go. But this entire team has to pick up the slack from there. So if this running game goes on a flow, Jimmy's going to look good. If this defense is able to bail him out of his mistakes, and that's when Jimmy can make up for those mistakes. But he's just average, more of a game manager. Like, we've seen what he's all about. In the early parts, we thought maybe this guy could have been the next good quarterback, but we're starting to find out the reality. He's just a system guy.
And just for your information, so I went to Eastern Illinois University. When I graduated, I went back and I saw Jimmy G play in college, and he's the exact same way it was in college. When he was up, he was fine, but then the moment he had to come back to throw to win a game, that's when he turned into a pumpkin and started throwing interceptions and stuff. So I've seen him up close and personal, but based on like what you were saying, a lot of us Falcon fans, we feel like with this game, if we can get ahead in scores, like make Jimmy G beat us, like that's how we feel, because we know what the Niners are about. The Niners are going to play some bully ball. They're going to line up and try to pound the Falcons to death up the middle with these runs with Jeff Wilson. So if we can just get a lead and play good defense, that's how we're going to have a chance, because on the flip side, Mariota ain't going to throw you back in a game either. So if we get down a couple scores, if Debo breaks a big one and scores, I'm afraid of what the Falcons are going to do on offense, because we don't have faith in Mariota. I'm telling you that right up front. We don't have faith in Mariota. So we know where our weaknesses are. Unlike other teams, Falcon fans are realistic. We don't, sugarcoat anything. We don't hype our team up or make excuses. Like most Falcon fans I know are real about it. So we cannot get down behind this game 2 scores, that we're going to be in trouble. So our bread and butter is defense and run the football, just like your bread and butter is defense and run the football. So that's where this game's going to be one time possession running the football and turnovers. Who going to make the turnover? Jimmy G or Mariota? That's going to be the biggest part of the game.
Well, yeah, that's the question mark, because the Niners defense is ranked number 1. Falcons defense isn't too bad, but who's going to make the most turnovers? It depends on Jimmy if he doesn't see his receiver and throws it to the DB or the linebacker. I mean, like you said, Mariota's been causing little turnovers here and there. So, like, he had some fumble issues. So that can be what the defense can do against Mariota, is like we can contain him. Maybe we do one of those little plays where we do a blind sack and chop the ball down and then he loses the ball or something like that. But like you said, Mariota as a runner, he could lose the ball when he runs it too. So he has a hard time holding on to that ball.
Yeah, Mariota's fumbles don't come really in the pocket because he doesn't stay in the pocket long. His fumbles come from he don't know how to slide. He always dives head first, fumbles the football. Jimmy G is more fumbles in the pocket. So it's the question is, can the Falcons get to him? That's the question. If our pass rush doesn't get there, Deebo Samuel's going to carve us up. Now we do have AJ Terrell, and a lot of people don't know a lot about AJ Terrell because the Falcons aren't that good. But AJ Terrell is one of the best corners in the NFL. And he's been playing lights out this year. He's shut down some of the best wide receivers in the NFL this year. So that's the Deebo on AJ Terrell is going to be key. And I know y'all didn't y'all lose a corner? I believe it was Mosley. What was his name?
Mosley. He's out for the year.
Okay, so speak on like how good he is and the other injuries you guys are working with on the defense.
Oh, okay. Mosley is like a really up-and-coming cornerback. He was really ascending the last couple of years. Since 2019, when he was an undrafted and we had him promoted into our active roster, this guy's gotten better as a shutdown corner, physical type of guy that could tackle. I mean, he was just really that good of a guy. And when he had his opportunities to get those interceptions, bro, he would get it in the big moments. But losing him to me was like, it's a little big blow right there because he was really on his way to maybe getting into the Pro Bowl or maybe potentially being one of the top like up and coming cornerbacks in the league. But for right now, the cornerback situation is kind of like a question mark because Jason Verrett is kind of like he's practicing, but we're not going to play him this week. So we're kind of like leaning our option towards Diamado Lenore, who's actually played both sides of the cornerback position, which is nickel or either the outside, or we might just go with Abry Thomas. Or since it doesn't seem as popular, we just promoted Dante Johnson into the active roster, which a lot of Niner fans hate to see this guy on the field, but he could be one of the guys that you might want to test. But as far as our defense, when you look at the injuries, there's a chance that maybe Bosa might not play this week because of the groin issue. And then and Javon Kinlaw has been placed on IR. So then you have Armstead ain't going to play this week. So we're playing with some of our backup defensive linemen, except Samson Ebicom's going to play. He's going to be the only one playing. Then you got guys like Kevin Givens, who's actually really good against the run, very solid guy to put in the rotation. Hassan Ridgeway, he's a really good run stopper, very disrupted. And then we got some other guys like Charles Amena who can do both sides. You know, he's kind of exactly what Eric Armstead does. He can be the inside or the outside. Doesn't matter. We got Kerry Hyder. Those are good depth pieces that we got. But then when you look at our linebackers, we're not having one of our third linebackers out there. Al-Shair is out for a while. So we have Flanagan Foles at the other linebacker spot. And then we have Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner into that spot. So those are our main. Yeah, those are our main help.
I also play IDP fantasy football, so it forces me to look at actual individual defensive numbers. Fred Warner is the guy who jumps off the screen. I mean, when I watch y'all team, he always seems to be in the right spot, and he blows up running backs. He can stop screens. He can run side to side. He reminds me of Deion Jones when he was in the prime, but we just traded Deion Jones because he's washed now. But he's the one we got to look out for. But man, if Bosa, Kinlaw, and Armstead are all three out, expect the Falcons to run like 15 carries each between Tyler Algier and Caleb Huntley. So I think this is gonna be a heavy run game. It has to be.
I expect Atlanta to do that because they're gonna have to test our other defensive line spots because potentially three of our guys ain't gonna play. So it's like you want to see what they can do. You look at our cornerback spots and our safeties. Jimmy Ward's been out for a while, so he's not going to play this week. He's been out ever since the beginning of the season. So we got Tashawn Gibson, who's actually a savvy veteran, kind of like he's actually been pretty solid for us. He's kind of made this defense a solid unit. But then you got Tolano Hufunga, who's an up-and-coming safety in this league. Everybody calls him like the next Troy Polamalu, but I'm telling them hold that hype a little bit, man. Come on. I mean, he's looking good. I ain't going to lie. But you look at the rest of the cornerbacks, Trevarius Ward, he is worth every penny and then some. This guy is one of the premier shutdown corners that nobody's even talking about, bro. This guy is physical. This guy gets the job done, bro. He had 4 pass deflected against the Carolina Panthers, bro. Even against the Bears, bro, he laid out one of the receivers when he was about to catch that ball, dude.
Oh, I appreciate that, by the way. I hate the Panthers, so good looking out, beating them up, taking Baker Mayfield out the game. They have fire sale now. I don't know if you've seen it, but they try and trade everybody.
Oh, yeah. Christian McCaffrey's on fire sale. There's potential of Brian Burns, DJ Moore, maybe.
But Robbie Anderson's also on the trade block.
Wow. So it's going to be all rebuilding for them then.
Yeah. So on our side, obviously, we got Grady Jerry in the middle. He's going to eat a lot of double team, but even if he gets double team, he still can break out and wreak havoc up the middle. Our rookie, Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State, he's on the left side. He has a couple of sacks. He's our best pass rusher as a rookie right now, and so he's only going to get better. Our other side is Lorenzo Carter. He's been on a few teams. He's okay, but he's not as good as Ebiketie in his first year. We got AJ Terrell. He's our lockdown corner. He's our best player on the team. On the other side, we had Casey Hayward. He's a little long in the tooth. He's still decent, but he got injured. We do have Isaiah Oliver. He's coming back off IR. He's our nickel safety in the slot. So he's a real important player. Without him, we struggle guarding slot receivers. So it's a good thing that he's coming back. In the secondary, we have a real young, good secondary. Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins. They're both real fast flying ball hawk type safeties. They're not like the old safeties you were familiar with, like Keanu Neal, guys who are gonna come down and destroy you, but they're more like they're gonna pick you off. In 2 of our wins, they had game-winning interceptions, so they're a big piece of what we do. In the middle, obviously, we got rid of Deion Jones, but now we have rookie Troy Anderson. We have Michael Walker. Michael Walker's our best tackler, but he's not going to play this game. He's been injured, so that's a huge blow to our defense. But our rookie Troy Anderson has stepped up, and he's playing well. So I think the core of this defense is going to be stopping the run, forcing Jimmy G to play defense. Darren Hall is decent, but he has been burned on a couple plays, so he's not the best in coverage. When we talking about a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, now so we talking about Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk's probably gonna have the best chance against us if we're gonna put Terrell on Deebo Samuel. Yeah. So I think Brandon Ayuk might have a really good game this game. But on our side, we're gonna have Kyle Pitts coming back. You already know Drake London, the rookie. He's pretty decent. I think if he keeps it up, he could be in the running for offensive rookie of the year. I do. Chris Olave on the Saints has been really good lately, but he got injured, so I don't know how he's going to be doing coming off the concussion. So I think if Mariota can just feed Drake London like how he was in the first couple games, we'll be fine. It's when he tries to lock on receivers. So in the Rams game, he was locking on Drake London way too much. And on the last play when he threw a pick to Ramsey, Kyle Pitts was running down the sidelines in man coverage 1-on-1. He beat his guy. And Mariota didn't throw him the ball. He threw into double coverage, and Jalen Ramsey with the safety over top, trying to feed it to London. So those are the times when Mariota fucks up and doesn't take what the defense gives him. And I don't know what it is, but it pisses me off that we drafted Kyle Pitts, the number one, the highest drafted tight end in the history of the NFL. But we treat this guy like he's a scrub, like he's a backup tight end, like he's just an average dude, and he's not. And that's where it frustrates us as fans. We know Desmond Ritter's gonna make those throws. Like when Desmond Ritter got first preseason reps and he played with the first team, he was making guys look good. He was hitting Kyle Pitts in stride. He was making the offense move up and down the field, no problems. And so that's where it frustrates us as fans, because we know what's on the bench. And in our opinion, like, it's one thing if you're going to learn from Matt Ryan because he's a former MVP. He's taken us to the Super Bowl. He was offensive rookie of the year. He's taken a losing team to the playoffs in his rookie year, and he's a pocket passer. So if he was teaching Desmond Ritter, then I'd have no problem with Desmond Ritter sitting down and learning. But Mariota is not a pocket passer. He's a mobile quarterback. So it really adds nothing to Desmond Ritter's mobility because Desmond Ritter ain't gonna go out there and run around like Mariota does. That's not his game. So that's the part that frustrates me the most. And like I said, like if this is really a merit-based sport, then Desmond Ritter outplayed Mariota in preseason. And any Falcons fan who watched that should know that. So that's the part that frustrates us the most. But hey, we gotta play what we dealt with, man. So right now we gotta do what Mariota does best, and that's gonna be running. I don't know what type of defense y'all play, but you're gonna need a spy because Mariota's gonna run a lot in this game.
We play somewhere in between wide nines. We play at least a 4-3 defense. We play kind of like a little bit of the concepts of what Seattle does, but they're kind of like putting more into different type of like they're doing man coverage more. So the cornerbacks are doing mostly man coverage, not the zone stuff. And then sometimes we tend to have our linebackers be in position to spy those quarterbacks. So for Mariota, for example, we may have Dre Greenlaw spy him at times.
Yeah,
like
because go ahead.
We know that Fred Warner's probably going to either cover Pitts or something. So one or the other.
Yeah, and so with wide nine works with a stationary quarterback like Matt Ryan. Like I know every time we played Jaw or the Eagles, Matt Ryan got sacked a lot, man. Because the wide nine, they play so far out that pressure comes from the edges, and a mobile quarterback can't step up. But you don't want to play a wide nine versus a mobile quarterback because Mariota's just going to run up the middle. Most of his runs come from up the middle. So the man coverage with the spy is probably your best bet against us. Hey, I don't want to Grand Azir. I don't want to talk about Frank Darby, man. He just didn't make the team, and he didn't play well enough. So it is what it is, man. I think we got enough wide receivers, and we got enough help at tight end. It's just Mariota's got to play better. No excuse. A lot of people were afraid of Drake London getting separation coming out of college, said he was slow. But when you put on the tape, he's getting clear separation, like wide the fuck open. It's just Mariota ain't finding him. He ain't hitting him because he like I said, one read looks right down the defensive line, takes off and runs. He's gotta stay and make the throws. So the Niners' best bet is to keep him in the pocket and make him make throws. That's when he's the worst. So Mariota moving the pocket, bootlegs, that's when actually he's the best. That's when he actually looks like a competent quarterback. So our best bet is to move Mariota out of the pocket, but y'all want to keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. But we know what Mariota can do. He can run outside the pocket and get those big chunk of plays. But yeah, like that wide nine stuff doesn't work well with certain mobile quarterbacks, but they might need to work on game plans, how to slow down mobile quarterbacks, which they've had their linebackers either spy them or either have one of their safeties or the DBs in between.
So looking at it from a perspective of like us trying to stop the Niners offense, what's the weakness of the Niners offense? How do you, when you see it get stopped, how do defenses stop y'all team?
As far as like our offense, man, it's all about pressuring Jimmy, bro. You just have to pressure him, and that's when he's off his game a little bit. And that's when the entire offense is in stale, it's in check. Because you take, like, as soon as you force Jimmy to beat you guys, that's where it becomes a lot slim chance for us to win games. So if you take away the running game and you pressure Jimmy, that's where you guys have a really, really good chance to beat us.
And I know that man loves to do run, slant on third down to Deebo Samuel. He loves that inside slant to Deebo Samuel, especially in man coverage. Yeah, Drake London is a USC product. So you're right. We gotta make it third and long on Jimmy. That's it. Third and longs. If it's like 3rd and 2, that's when you guys can do. Shanahan can do anything with that scheme.
Yeah,
y'all
you gotta force him to throw more.
Huh?
You gotta force him to throw more. That's the best chance you guys have.
And one of the main Falcons' weaknesses is short yardage defense. We cannot stop 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s, QB sneaks. That's one of our weaknesses because we're a little smaller up in front, and we tend to get pushed around at times. So it's more like we struggle with more mobile quarterbacks. So I'm glad Jimmy G's playing, but if we don't stop this run, it's gonna be a long day for us.
Yeah, especially our run our running offense is pretty good. It's been ranking between the top 10 or something, if I'm mistaken. But I know our run defense is ranked number 1. So you guys, I think you guys are in the top 5 as a run offense. So you guys are mostly like very consistent at it. So I've seen that you don't have Cordell Patterson. He's out for a while. But I see that you got a couple of running backs, like you just said. That Algier guy, the one that you guys drafted this year from BYU, he looks solid. Then you got that Khalib Huntley guy. It seems like you guys are kind of like splitting carries, doing the running back by committee, which is smart. That's something that I wish that the Niners were able to do instead, because now we're starting to use that formula because we got Tevin Coleman back for whatever reason. Nobody wanted him, so we picked him back up. So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Tevin Coleman.
Oh yeah, we have a soft spot for Tevin Coleman here, man. He helped us a lot in 2016. So shout out to Tevin Coleman. But yeah, if you follow the Falcons pattern this year, Cordell Patterson comes out hot. He got like 22 carries, 100+ yards, a touchdown. Next game, he breaks down, can't play, low amount of carries, gets injured. Then he rests. He comes back, another 22 carries, another 100+ yards, another touchdown, breaks down again, gets injured. Now he's on short IR. So we can't. The older he gets, he can't handle those carries anymore, and it's obvious. It started last year. I don't know if you noticed, but Cordell Patterson was like top 5 in rushing the first half of last year, and then he started to break down, and then he also had to go on IR last year, and it started off on script just the same way this year. Started off hot, broke down, got hot again, broke down. So we can no longer give Cordell Patterson 20+ carries anymore. He's just too old, and his body can't handle the carries because he's not used to that. His whole career was all pro special teams, kick returner, gadget player. That's what he was used at. He never was given 20+ carries a game. So to ask him to do that at his age is just, it's like making LeBron play 45 minutes. Like it's not feasible anymore. So his body's breaking down. And so the fresh young guns, Tyler Algier and Caleb Huntley. Caleb Huntley was practice squad, but in the preseason, he had the best preseason out of all the running backs we had on the team. So that's what made him look capable of playing in a regular season snaps. Tyler Algier, he was already going to be penciled in as our backup behind Patterson. I think he had a record in yards and broken tackles in the nation in college. So his thing is he's kind of like you remember Doug Martin on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yeah,
that's exactly what Tyler Algier looks like. He's short, he's stubby, and he breaks a lot of tackles. He's not gonna blow you away and straight beeline and go 90 yards, but he can get the tough tackles. Caleb Huntley is the more the home run hitter. So he's the guy who can take it 90 yards. He had a big run last time. I think it was like a 65-yard run. So yeah, it's a fresh running back by committee approach. And the great thing about that is it limits Mariota's throw, because we as Falcon fans, trust me, we don't want Mariota throwing a bunch. The games where Mariota tries to throw too much, those are the games we lose. The game we run the air out the ball, those are the games we win. So that's our formula. We need to stick to that, because we can't make Mariota Matt Ryan. He's not Matt Ryan. He never will be. So that's our formula. If we get out of that formula, the Niners are going to kick our ass.
Well, that's what we're trying to hope for, man. We're trying to get him to be more of a passer, man, just like you guys are trying to do with Jimmy. So it's kind of like those are one of those key marks for us. Have a good running game. Just force that quarterback to throw the ball more, which is key for both teams. And our defense just has to be able to hold on pretty well, because as soon as one of those teams starts scoring more than 2 touchdowns, it can be a long day for either team. So here's a good question, man. I know part early in the offseason you probably had a prediction. Maybe you guys were still a rebuilding team, but has this changed your different view of it or kind of the same?
No, I had us around the same amount of wins as last year. I think we can get a little better, maybe like 7-8 wins at most 9, but I don't see that. Mariota, I don't even know if Mariota will be able to stay healthy the way he plays the whole season. So who knows? The good news is our division ain't looking as elite as we thought it was coming into the season. A lot of people had the Saints as NFC champions. They look beat up to hell and they look terrible. Carolina Panthers, you already know, are on fire sale, trying to get rid of their whole team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who everyone thought would be invincible this year, they're looking real pedestrian, to be honest with you. And for us to hang in that late in the game with Mariota playing, no Kyle Pitts, and no Cordell Patterson, like the Buccaneers should have blown us out that game, and we were in that game the entire game. So that to me shows like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are struggling versus decent, like average teams. So I'm not saying we're going to win the division, but what I am saying is, can we finish second place? Absolutely. To me, projecting forward is more like I look forward towards next year. I think next year is when we have an actual chance to win this division. Brady most likely retires. We all know I don't have faith in Jameis Winston or the Saints. They look like they're falling apart. The Panthers complete rebuild, and so I think with Ritter, if Ritter starts next year and we rip the Band-Aid off, get rid of Mariota, add more pieces to the defense through the draft, add more pieces on free agency, we get Ridley back, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, I think we have a chance to win the division next year. So I'm not going to make any prediction for this year. I think this year is going to be another hard year to win. We might get I don't think we're going to get like the 4th pick, but we might get like, the 8th, 9th pick, 10th pick in the draft. I think that's where we're going to fall. So I'm a realistic Falcon fan. I know a lot of Falcon fans on my channel don't like me to say this shit because they want me to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. They want me to come out and say the Falcons going to win 13 games every year. And I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to lie to my fans or people who watch me. I'm going to be honest. That's what my channel is all about. Honesty, realistic. I don't sugarcoat shit. And that's what I mean by no gimmicks. I don't come out and lie to people. I don't pretend to be somebody I'm not. I just give you the real facts. And wherever, if you like it or not, oh well, I don't really care. I'm all about being real. So I think the Falcons are going to fall about 8 wins tops. I think that's where we're going to be. If we're lucky, 9-10 wins at most. But realistically, I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. But the good news is our division is not as strong as we think it is. But tell me about your division. Now, I find it funny that Russell Wilson left and the Seahawks look better now. And like Geno's cooking on the same team that Russell just left, and for some reason he couldn't cook with. Who else y'all got? The Rams are looking beat up and sorry. That offensive line can't block anymore. It seems like without OBJ, they don't know. All they do is throw a Cooper Kupp. That's it. Like there's like literally Cooper Kupp and Higbee. That's all they throw to.
That's all they got, dude. And that offensive line's been a complete mess and complete chaos. So it's like you look at the Cardinals, they don't have Hopkins, so that's the excuse for their part. But I want to see how they do when they get Hopkins, man. They have Hollywood Brown. That should have already took away the pressure off of Murray because of the connections. But man, it is pretty wide open. But we have a lead, so that's the good part, man. So it's
Kyler Murray's height really affects him, man. You could tell he can't see over linemen. He has to always scramble outside the pocket to make plays. He just doesn't. He plays too much backyard football. He plays too much Madden football. He doesn't play within the system, and it makes it hard for him and his team to sustain drives, and that's where he gets in trouble. The Seahawks, they just don't have a defense. They just get slaughtered on defense, man. Gino got them playing well on offense, to be honest with you. They just don't have a defense right now. They're completely just a void of defense. And then the Rams, man, I don't know. They can't block him anymore. Stafford's looking back to Detroit Lions. Stafford, all they throw to is Cooper Kupp. So, in my opinion, I think the Niners got a clear shot to win the division easily.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like, I feel like there's a good chance, but this is early in the season. Maybe this is where the Rams do what they always do, make these deadline trades, because you know how the Rams are. Just because they are out for a minute, they're going to get somebody. They always get that certain player, and I don't understand how they're pulling off these all-star Laker moves, man. Like, they're trying to be like the Lakers so freaking bad. They're not the Lakers. You're the Chargers. Stick on your line.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Herbert, man. He's the real deal.
For real, man. But see, here's a good question by Coach T. Bates. Okay, Atlanta has been playing good against division games. Saints and Tampa Bay. Teams always play good against division, but what happens if we stop their run game? What do they have to after that? Like, what is one thing you might need to do?
Is that question for me?
Yeah.
What happens if y'all stop our run game?
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be up to Mariota to make those throws in tight windows, and that's the problem. Sometimes he does it. Sometimes he looks just absolutely incompetent at quarterback. I also think it's a willingness. He's afraid at times to make the throw to Kyle Pitts, like double cover. And Arthur Smith said this in the press conference, like, this isn't fantasy football. We're supposed to throw to the open guy, but with that said, if Mariota is throwing to an open guy and the open guy is Cordero Hodge, which is like a practice squad backup wide receiver on our team, that to me is not winning football. Throwing to Kyle Pitts in double coverage is way a better chance of winning football. Like, you got to feed these players. And I put this on Twitter, and it got over like 1,500 likes and retweets, because I played a video of people forget when we had Tony Gonzalez on the Falcons. This man was getting vice gripped at the line, double covered, triple covered. Matt Ryan was still throwing to him for touchdowns. Matt Ryan was still throwing to him when I showed a video. Julio Jones, the great Julio Jones, in his prime, singled coverage. Matt Ryan still threw to Tony Gonzalez double covered for touchdowns. That's what I'm talking about. If you draft a tight end as high as Kyle Pitts, you can't. There is no excuse of he's double covered, we can't throw to him. You cannot treat this guy like he's Cole Kmet on the Chicago Bears. That's not who this guy is. People call him the unicorn. You have to give him a chance. You have to. I don't care if it's double cover. I've seen this man make the most ridiculous one-handed catches. He's the best tight end coming out of college. You have to give this guy a chance. Otherwise, why the fuck did we draft him? Like, we might as well have drafted a defensive player or someone who could have helped us. If you're not going to use him, don't play him. Don't use him. So that's where we're at. And it's just so frustrating that Mariota would rather throw to a guy like Cordero Hodge, Olamide Zaccheaus, but he won't throw to Kyle Pitts, like one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And that's the frustrating part. So it's not about what the Niners are going to do. It's every game of the Falcons play is about what is Mariota going to do? What are we going to do? Because the chances are there. Like he said, we were in the Saints game. We were in the Bucs game. We were in the Rams game. To be honest with you, we could have been 4-1. And if we got one lucky bounce here or there, we could have been 5-0. But Mariota in clutch situation, he always wets the bed. He always fumbles the ball, turns the ball over, throws picks, fumbles the football, and that's the part that kills us. So it's about limiting Mariota's mistakes, and the way we do that is running the football as much as we can and playing defense. That's our only prayer.
That's your only prayer, but you're hoping that he maybe go towards Kyle Pitts instead, because you got to trust that one guy. Even if he's double covered, give it a chance and see how it pays off. I mean, it's that
I'm not saying never throw the ball, but I'm saying when the opportunity presents itself, you got to have the balls to make that throw, to want to make that throw, to trust that Kyle Pitts is going to come down with it. But instead, you want to trust throwing into double, triple coverage with Drake London. That makes no sense to me. So if you're willing to risk throwing into double coverage, why not risk throwing into Kyle Pitts, who's literally a 50-50 Moss type? He can out-Moss a lot of people in the NFL. So I don't understand. If we got him, we drafted him for a reason. You got to use him. You just got to. There's no excuse for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a first-round pick, and you guys got him as a high athletic tight end. Like, there hasn't been a tight end of his caliber since I can remember. Like, maybe they put him in the comparisons of a Darren Waller, but more of a Vernon Davis type specimen. Dude, this guy's unbelievable. Like, you guys got to figure out a way to use him in certain ways. But
he's not the best blocker in the world. So he's more in the vein of a Travis Kelce, more of a receiving tight end, more like Shannon Sharp. Not the best block in the world. He's not a Kittle. He's not going to go out there and run block for us and blow dudes up. He's not going to do it. There's been a couple times when we got stopped running the football, Kyle Pitts missed his block. So he's not the greatest blocker in the world. But it's when Mariota bootlegs out and Kyle Pitts is open, that's when he's dangerous.
For sure, man. And I guess speaking of your quarterback, we were just talking about this guy early, like being your future quarterback, right? Do you feel like he'll be the guy at some point?
Um, if like I said, if we keep games close, Arthur Smith is not going to change and put in Ritter. But if we let's say we like lose like 6 games straight, then there's a chance Ritter comes in. If Mariota gets injured running the ball too much, then there's a chance Ritter comes in. But I think no matter what Mariota does, I think Desmond Ritter is going to be the starting quarterback next year. And if you watched him in preseason, he had more passing yards, more touchdowns, more completions, a better QBR, a better completion percentage than Mariota did in the preseason. And that's with first team, second team, didn't matter. So Desmond Ritter is the quarterback of the future for right now. I know a lot of teams always want to try to project us drafting another quarterback, but we don't need another quarterback. We need more defense, add another wide receiver, see what we're going to do with Ridley. Are we going to keep Ridley? Are we going to trade him for extra picks in the draft? That's a possibility as well. So it's about building the defense, getting the pieces back, and actually throwing to guys when they're open. Because at first, as Falcon fan, we thought it was a play calling. We blamed Arthur Smith a lot because a lot of times he does a lot of dumbass shit, especially in close situations, short yard situations. He does a lot of stupid stuff like I can't remember what game it was, but we were on the 50-yard line. It was like 4th and like 3. And Arthur Smith tried to run a QB sneak. Like dumb stuff like that, like is mind blowing to me. But then we started noticing the plays he's running, guys are open, and Mariota's just not making the throws, and that's the problem. So, how healthy is Pitts? Pitts is going to play. He's expected to play. Hamstrings are no joke, but he's going to try to give it a go. Hopefully, it's not a situation where he becomes like a Julio Jones, because that's what doomed Julio Jones' career in Atlanta. Hamstring injuries. Every time he tried to play on it, he'd re-injure himself and couldn't play anymore. So he's gonna play. He's gonna give it a go. If not, any, but the problem is, even when he plays, he hasn't been effective with Mariota. So he's more of a decoy for other players. So it's not like when he's in, he's been dominating, because he hasn't, and that's not his fault. It's Mariota's fault. So everything. I don't mean to sound repetitive or like a broken record, but everything stems from the tree of what Mariota does with this offense. Because it doesn't matter how good our run game is. Eventually, the Niners are going to stop it. So that third and long is when Mariota needs to make these throws.
Yeah, definitely, man. Hey, shout out to your boy, Sports Life of the ATL, Slitta. He's saying Dean P sucks ass. Arthur Smith is a clown. Pass rush is horrible again.
Our pass rush is not the greatest. We still don't have the personnel to be a top pass rushing team, but are we a lot better than last year? Yeah, we are, because last year we were dead last. Dead last in sacks last year, second to last in quarterback hits last year. Now we are more middle of the pack. We're more like in that 25 range, 20 range. So that is a part we need to improve on, but we can't improve on that until we have the cap space and more draft picks. Everybody knew, the realistic Falcons fans knew, that this wasn't like a 1-year fixed thing. This wasn't we get rid of Ryan, we fix this, we fix that, and now we're going to be back to the playoff. No, everybody knew that this was going to be a 2-3 year fix. I don't know anybody who thinks that we were just automatically going to turn around and be amazing the next year. We weren't. Unrealistic Falcons fans think like that, but if you're being real with yourself, we all knew that this was going to be a building process. And, Arthur Smith likes to talk a lot of shit, and he likes to say stuff like he doesn't believe in rebuilding. We're going to be competitive next year. That's just coach speak. And I've learned after Dan Quinn to not believe that, because Dan Quinn used to preach all that time. He used to sell us a lot of shit that never came true. And Arthur Smith is the type of guy who kind of does the same thing, just in a different way. And so I've learned to just not listen to what they say. It's about what they do. When they make roster moves, that's when I know exactly what they're trying to do with the team. So it's still a rebuild, and it's about staying competitive, because I don't believe in tanking. I don't know about you, but I don't believe in tanking. So it's about playing as hard as you can, being as competitive as you can, but knowing that you're still going to be a year or two away. So I'm in it for the long ride. And the moment we got rid of Matt Ryan, I understood that this is going to be a long process. I didn't think we were just going to jump back in and get star quarterback right away. I knew this was going to be a real building process. When Michael Vick got in trouble for dogfighting, we had to sit through the Chris Redmonds of the world, Brian Leftwich, Joey Harrington. We all knew what it was going to be. So, it took a while to get Matt Ryan. So I'm okay with that process. And I'm, if you're a real Falcons fan, you're going to sit through that process. So that's how I feel.
Well, I mean, everybody has their own opinions about it, but when it comes down to it, this guy is the most optimistic fan, but I think he gets realistic about the Falcons in his own right too. But he's even said it like the defense is trash. Like you have a different perspective of how you guys feel, but I guess they've seen you around different channels like Big Lows and other guys. Smitty's supposed to be coming up.
I don't get into that whole back and forth beef with other Falcon fans. I don't believe in that. I believe in lifting all Falcons fans, creators up. I respect everybody who respects me, and that's how I am. Respect is earned. It's not given. I respect those who respect me. I'm too old to get into the back and forth trash talking. I don't do all that. I'm here to talk football, and that's what I'm here to do. So
okay, I respect that, man. I don't want it to lead to any issues, but
yeah,
man. But I say the same thing about most of the fan base too, and they get all upset if I say certain stuff. Like I'm already like, dude, I'm getting the most criticism for calling out Jimmy being what he is, and everybody's still thinking that that Trey's not the answer. They're saying he's a bust, and I'm like, dude, we haven't seen the guy played more than a full season, so you can't automatically call the guy a bust. So you're gonna trust a guy who's failed us for those 5 years, than to go with somebody who hasn't even played
and what this is why I learned when I've started making YouTube videos. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So you might as well just be yourself and just keep it real all the time. You can try to preach that everything's gonna be all good, and there's gonna be Falcon fans that are gonna be like, you're not realistic, you're not this, you're not that. Or if you're too realistic, then there's gonna be Falcons fans who are gonna say, oh, Jeff, you so negative. You always think we're going to suck. You always think this. You always think that. So either way, there's going to be people who are going to bitch regardless of what you're going to do. So as long as you just stay true to yourself and just be you and be realistic, then the people who still subscribe to your channel, the people who still follow you, those are the fans I appreciate. I don't care to have people on my channel every 5 seconds bitching about whatever I say. Like if, I always tell people, hey, feel free to leave my channel, go somewhere else. You don't got to watch me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. But some content creators aren't okay with that. They want everybody to like them, and I'm not in the business of that. So
I'm in the same way as you, dude. Like I'm not gonna please somebody. I'm not gonna be a Grant Cohn. I'm not gonna be a Rombo. I am going to be a CG, and I am going to be harsh with people. Like if I'm going to say a certain player sucks and they don't like it and he's popular, I'm going to say it without even looking back. I've said it from time to time again that Jimmy Ward is trash. He's proven me right throughout time. He can never stay healthy. How do you get a guy who's been with this team for so many years but can't even generate any picks or any of that stuff or make any impacting plays when he's not on the field as much, That's how you look at it, but people are calling me one of those delusional. I said, dude, this guy hasn't proven me nothing, bro. Like, when is he ever – like, how do you make the top 100 if you're not even a top consistent player? Like, how do you make it? Yeah, Jimmy Ward made the top 100, and I've actually called that as a like what is it, like one of those little kiss up things, bro. Come on, man. Like that guy is only a good – like he's a solid starter, but not a great player. That was too overhyped, man. Who puts him at 96, bro? That's way high.
I stopped listening to Top 100 a long time ago. That is like
who puts a top 100 on an average safety, bro? He only had 2 picks because of Stafford. Come on, give me a break. See that if it wasn't for Stafford throwing those 2 picks, bro, he wouldn't have made the top 100. And a lot of these Niner fans were all pissed off and say, why are you hating on Jimmy Ward? Why are you such a hater on him? Like, dude, he's proven to me that he's average and nothing more.
And see, with our situation, because we lost so many franchise players in such a short window, like moving on from Julio, moving on from Matt Ryan, moving on from all these guys, really getting suspended. a lot of Falcon fans are trying to cling on to stuff to be positive about. So they hype up guys who aren't that good, like a Marcus Mariota. Like when we signed Marcus Mariota, I had people saying like, "Oh man, in our system, he's gonna be back to Oregon College Marcus Mariota. He's gonna be this, he's gonna be that." I'm like, dude, like the dude is not a rookie. Like y'all seen him play, like right on the Raiders, y'all seen him play on the Titans. Like the dude had his chances. It's not like he's a guy who was good a couple years and then didn't get his chance somewhere else. No, he had plenty of chances as a starting quarterback, and he couldn't cut it. So why do people expect Marcus Mariota to join our team and all of a sudden become an elite quarterback? He's not. He never has been and never will be. So a lot of fans got mad at me and said I'm being too negative for saying that Marcus Mariota is who he is. He's a Band-Aid scrub type quarterback. Like that's what he is. He's Andy Dalton, in my opinion. Like that's what he is. I'm sorry to say it. That's what he is. And a lot of fans got mad at me for that. Arthur Smith. A lot of people said I'm too negative on Arthur Smith, but like play calling is play calling. This guy came from the Tennessee Titans, and he had Derrick Henry. It is so much easier to call offense when you have that workhorse behind your solid offensive line, Derrick Henry behind that offensive line. So the moment Tannehill bootlegs, guys are wide open because they're so afraid of Derrick Henry. He came to Atlanta and thinking that we had that same type of system. We don't. Like, people aren't going to be afraid of a Tyler Algier, a Caleb Huntley, or to a certain extent, Cordell Patterson. Like, Cordell Patterson is decent, but he doesn't strike fear in you like a Derrick Henry. So you can't piece together your team like we're the Tennessee Titans. And then he took a lot of guys from the Titans and put them on our team and put them in starting positions like they didn't deserve. Like we got Tajay Sharp, and he's starting over guys that are better than him just because he came from Tennessee. Like that's the type of stuff. We got Anthony Ferkser, a backup tight end. Like so many guys we got from Tennessee that aren't good guys. Arthur Smith is starting them or playing them or giving them more snaps because he believes in his system from guys he coached with. And he took a long time to adjust to the personnel that we have. And so now to me, it's more in Mariota's court now. But the year before it was Arthur Smith was calling a lot of dumbass shit. And now to me, he's calling it better, but Mariota is just not executing. And that's the problem. The run game is showing up. The offense, like I said before, we had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL last year, and we didn't even make that many changes. And Matt Ryan was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL, but the offensive line is playing great. It's actually a strength of our team, which is amazing to me because one of the things is that we stopped starting. Caleb McGrary was a liability on our team, and so he's not starting anymore. Now we start Wilkinson. Jake Matthews has been great. We start Chris Lindstrom has been great. Matt Hennessy has been great. So our offensive line is a lot better now, and the run game is solid. It's just Mariota has to execute when he has his chances, and he's just not doing that. And that's our problem. So, but moving forward, I am optimistic about the future of this team. But I always, even before Mariota came, before we got rid of Matt Ryan, I always said this is going to be a 1 or a 2 year rebuild. I never was one of those people who thought we were just going to jump back into playoffs the next year. So,
yeah, I mean, it just depends on how it goes with the team. Like you don't expect it to be a playoff team, but it's playing like spoilers. It's playing close games. Like, I always got to deal with my own fan base too in different perspective. Like even on Twitter, bro, I can even put up a lot of negative shit about Jimmy, and I'll probably get maybe 1,000 people retweeting or maybe sharing and talking shit and say, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about." And I'm like, dude, have you seen what he's been doing before? Have you seen how he hasn't elevated this team? Look at the playoffs statistics, bro. It's our running game. It's our defense. Jimmy's been – see, if we were in the playoffs, dude, all you have to do is throw 10 passes. That's it. Get about 5 completions maybe, and we win the damn playoff game. Jimmy didn't have to do too much, dude. That's what I've been trying to explain to them. Like when you saw the NFC Championship game against the Packers, right? Did you see how many passes that Jimmy had to throw? 8. Even you could play quarterback right there, dude.
Hey, but we all know that ain't gonna win your championship. You gotta throw more than that.
Yep,
Even Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson threw more passes than that, and we all know they were just along for the ride.
yeah, they sure are, dude. That's what makes it so interesting. But in today's NFL, you can't have those kind of quarterbacks. You can't have a Trent Dilfer. You can't have a Brad Johnson doing this, dude. Like,
and another thing, which is ironic because obviously we had Kyle Shanahan as the offensive coordinator when we went to the Super Bowl. Y'all got Kyle Shanahan as your head coach now. A lot of Falcon fans they lie to themselves because they're so salty over the Super Bowl, and we didn't run the football in the fourth quarter. And Matt Ryan took that sack because Devontae Freeman missed a block. We lost the game. A lot of fans blame Kyle Shanahan for not running the football. So they act like Kyle Shanahan was the worst coach we ever had, and he wasn't a good offensive coordinator. He didn't call a lot of plays. Kyle Shanahan, he definitely improved a lot of play around the players around us. So my question is, how do Niner fans visualize Kyle Shanahan? Do they love his play calling or do they not?
they like it to a certain extent. It's like 50-50. Like some of his play calls are like unpredictable. Like he tries to get too cute, dude. Like if you notice,
that's it right there. That's a staple of Kyle. When he has a lead and he's feeling himself, he'll try some bullshit gadget shit, like some shit that is unnecessary. That is definitely Kyle Shanahan to the T.
Yeah, he gets too cute. Like, why even pass the ball if you have a 10-point lead? Just run the ball. And he can't even do that. Or why you're not using Debo? You had a chance to get back to the Super Bowl. All you had to do was use Debo again. He was very effective. In the Super Bowl, he was effective as a runner. And we couldn't do that. Like,
now, can I ask you a question real quick? So coming into the season, I know Debo was complaining about being a running back too much, and he wanted to be utilized as a outside wide receiver. Have the Niners done that, or is he still running the same amount from the backfield?
He's still running very little of the backfield. Like, he's still getting some of those touches. Like, I think he was only complaining because that was leverage talk, you know?
Oh, you think that was what it was?
Get his money.
He got paid, right?
Yeah, he got paid, so of course he's going to use leverage.
Now he's quiet.
Yeah, like when you look at, okay, like as a businessman, when Debo said that, I wasn't really sure if it was accurate or not. I wasn't buying into it because he was embracing the Whiteback role. He even had a shirt brand called Whiteback, bro. Like, how are you going to go flip-flop there and say, I don't want to play running back no more? Dude, now, okay, they paid you. Okay, you said you're okay with it now. Now you're acting like everything's cool now and everything was misunderstood. Like, I don't get it. Like, what changed your mind, dude? It's because we paid you. That's
the money. The money changed their mind. You know that.
Yeah, money talks, bullshit walks, bro. That's just how it goes. Yeah, but I mean that's just how it changes anybody, bro. Like if he's just saying it for like as businessman. Like let's say you're good at a certain role, but you could do it at the highest level. But if you take it as leverage and say I don't want to play that role, you're kind of countering more money into it, right?
Yeah, Valix Prime Sports. I agree. It was more Kyle's fault. So someone did measure it on the field. If the Falcons took 3 kneels in a row and kicked the field goal, we were still in field goal range. We would have won the game. But Kyle Shanahan felt like he kept dropping back and throwing, and you know the rest is history. So, am I going to the games this season? I was trying to go to the Chicago Bears Falcons game in Atlanta, but one of my guys, something happened to him. He's in Florida. He's been dealing with the hurricanes, and so he's had to spend a lot of money on like recovery and stuff, so he can't go anymore. But
yeah, man, you're sure. I mean, it's like I want to go to the Niners and Saints game for this season because I've only been to maybe a couple of games out of the year. But last year I was at the Niners and Falcons game at Levi's, and then I was at the Cardinals one, so that was pretty much it. But this year I'm going to the New Orleans one, so that one's going to be pretty good. Here's a good one, bro. I know you're probably aware of this, but there's going to be a lot of that Niners in red coming to Atlanta, right? You expecting that to happen, or are you just going to be surprised like how some of the other fans were?
No, I expected. The Niners are like the Cowboys, man. They travel. Their fans travel a lot. But I do know that we're going to be wearing our alternate brand new red helmets, and they look real nice. They're these like red chrome helmets. They got a little like white, black, and like it's a different helmet that you've never seen before, and it's a real sweet looking helmet. So I'm excited to see these new helmets.
Isn't it kind of like the old school version where it was like the original before you guys changed it to the black helmets? Because you had the original red helmets when you guys came as an expansion team or something.
Right. So it does look like the throwback model, but it looks like it's like the throwback logo, but a modernized version of it. And the red is a different. It's like a more like a crimson red kind of color. I can't really. You gotta see it. I can't explain it, but
yeah, bar got. I've seen what it looks like. It's a little different than the original, but it has a little bit of those resembles of it. So
right. Score predictions.
Yeah, man. Score prediction. Look, as far as this game, I expect it to be very close. I expect it to be exactly what people didn't expect it to be because Atlanta's been in a lot of games that nobody expected them to be, and it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be between less than 7-point type performance, or maybe they'll be getting closer, or they probably pull an upset. So it's one of those type of games you might see, but if we keep going the way we're going, since we're on a roll, I feel like the running game is going to be the key factor to beating the Atlanta Falcons, because as soon as we start to establish that, this is where Jimmy gets comfortable. But if it doesn't go our way, this is where Atlanta can come into this game and upset us. So realistically, the Falcons are kind of like going to give us a tough test, but I'm really going to say the Niners have the momentum going into this game. And I know we're coming off injuries, but I expect it to be a lot close. So I've had the score prediction for us to win by 7 from the beginning, but now that I'm seeing a lot of the injuries, I'm kind of seeing it coming close to like the last second of the quarter where maybe it comes down to a field goal. So I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to say the Niners win 24-21. I think Falcons are going to play close. It wouldn't surprise me if they do pull an upset over us.
The funny thing is I had the exact score, but in reverse. I think it's going to be 21-21, and whoever kicks the game-winning field goal is going to win the game to make it 24-21. But yeah, I do think it's going to be a close game. So the Falcons do a lot better with more finesse offenses playing against them because we just match up better with them. We struggle more when teams are more physical with us and try to run it down our throats, to be honest with you. So that's good because we have trouble getting off blocks, and we have trouble with interior rushes. And I know the Niners are one of the best at that, combo blocking, using the double tight ends. So that's going to be our Achilles heel. So if we do lose, it's going to be because you guys are going to pound us into submission running the football. I don't think it's going to be an air show like what was that? What was that game when Debo took off for like 70 yards and scored a touchdown? Was that the Rams game?
That was the Rams game.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be a game like that. It's gonna be Jeff Wilson getting 125 yards on the ground. That's gonna be that type of game. Young Hoku player of the game. I hope so.
Yeah, he's a good kicker, I ain't gonna lie. But speaking of your defense, how are they good against the run? Like I think they're ranking.
We're actually pretty decent against the run. We're like top 10 or 15 against the run, but that's because teams are willing to throw on us because our backup corners. First of all, our nickel corner was out for injury for the whole season. He's coming back this week. But our backup corner, Casey Hayward, our second corner, he got injured as well. So we're playing. So AJ Terrell is our lockdown corner, and he does a great job. And he's a Pro Bowl type corner. But it's the second receivers, third receivers who are killing us in games. So like I said before, it's going to be a Brandon Ayuk type game if we can't. Because I don't think Debo's going to have that type of game, and I think we're going to be fairly decent on the run. But it's if the Niners get a score on us and they start just running the rest of the game, that's when I'm going to be worried. That's when we're going to not be able to come off blocks. So we have to stay ahead of the chains. We have to make it a close game where the Niners don't just run on us. Because if they make it a run game, we don't have a chance. If we keep it close where Jimmy G still has to throw on us, then we have a chance because we want Jimmy G to throw. So
that's what you want. Yeah, you want that to happen. But like you said, it can possibly be Brandon Ayuk's breakout game because your best corner Terrell is going to mostly focus on Debo. But here's my X factor for this one. Juwan Jennings is going to be one of those guys that might be one of the guys that your cornerbacks might not even cover well, because this guy's a 6'3" receiver. He can block, but there's been moments where if he catches that ball, bro, good luck trying to tackle that guy, because that guy's going to run you over and he's going to smile on your face after he makes a play.
Yeah, and on the flip side, I think, like you said before, you might put Fred Warner on Kyle Pitts, and you guys have your starting cornerback out. So I don't know who replaces Mosley.
Yeah, that's going to be the question mark right there, because there's been practices between Lenore, so it seems like it's leaning towards him, but they've been giving Thomas some first team reps. But if I'm a betting man, it's going to probably be Lenore, number 38 out there, which he hasn't been too bad.
And how is he a big dude or is he small?
He's about the same size as Emmanuel Mosley, but he's if you watch this guy play, bro, this guy gets physical, bro. But he's kind of been ascending a little bit, because last year he had his moments his first year as a rookie. Then he was benched the rest of the year. They really like this kid. Like, he's actually kind of beat out one of our rookie nickel corners and got to play some roles right there. But, yeah, he's a feisty cornerback. He definitely has a little bit of savviness, but he's still like in his second year, so he's learning on the fly. But he's definitely a quick learner with the nickel spot too. But he's going to play the outside, so they're expecting him to play there.
So if we talking like Lenore, he's going to be on Drake London, and so Drake London is like, he plays exactly like Mike Evans. He's a big, tall guy. He can run. He's not going to blow you away with speed, but he's more like he can box you out like in basketball type receiver. So I don't know how big Lenore is, but that's going to be the matchup where I think the Falcons have a chance. Unless, like I said, unless Mariota has the guts to throw on Fred Warner to Kyle Pitts.
Well, okay. Like, for your other receiver, then who would Trevarius Ward match up to? Because you said you have another receiver on the other side.
So our other receivers, Olamide Zaccheaus. He's decent. He makes. The problem with Olamide Zaccheaus is he'll make like circus catches, but then like routine ass catches, he'll just drop the ball, and it's like mind blowing. Like what the fuck is that? Like that, and he does that a lot. So, but he's our burner. Take the top off if Mariota goes deep. I don't know who you guys have to cover deep wide receivers, but he's the take the top off receiver. Drake London is the guy who eats in the middle. Inside slants, in routes, comeback routes. That's Drake London, and Drake London is big in the end zone, red zone. But
I think it's going to come down to Mooney, bro. Mooney's going to probably be the one that covers it, because you're saying that Drake London will have to match up against the other corner, which is Lenore's. Mm-hmm. Lenore's not like a big corner. He's kind of the same size as Mosley. I think he's about 5'11" or 5'10". He plays up bigger than his size. Like, for your speedy receiver, like you were saying, I don't think Mariota wants to test Moody, bro. Moody could just, he's that one cornerback you guys don't want to test, because when you throw his direction, he doesn't give up a lot of big plays, and I don't understand how the Chiefs let him go. That's just something that we'll never know, but he's actually kind of like one of our best defenders so far on the secondary. Like, this guy is a baller, bro. You should check out some of the film or some of the matchups he has, bro. Nobody's even getting past that guy. That guy says,
Now, every game this year, Mariota has thrown one or two passes like 40 yards down the field. So he will take a very limited, but he will take deep shots. That's mostly going to go to Zaccheaus, though, because, like I said, London is not that fast. So he's like Mike Evans. So like London does run go routes, but he's gonna slow down, moss you, and then fall down and make the catch. He's not gonna keep running. He's not gonna blow by you. So it's gonna be Zaccheaus if Mariota does take those best shots, those deep shots.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going to trust the most on his target is either Drake London, because Drake London is like your big physical possession receiver. I think I've seen what he can do. He can separate, but like you said, Mariota throws the ball a little off on him, so that's part where he doesn't get the separation. But when it comes into the red zone, that guy's money right there. I think that's where you need to give the ball to. But Like Kyle Pitts, if you guys can just figure out a way to use him, unless he doesn't play for whatever reason, then that's going to be kind of like whatever with you guys. But I feel like you're still going to figure out a way to run the ball on this, because the best way that Atlanta can beat us is if they run the ball. Because if they just commit to it, that's when our run defense starts to wear out. I don't know how, but in the second half, it depends on how you guys run the ball.
Oh, and yeah. Also, so when Tyler Allgeier's in, he's more like Cordell Patterson, so he's involved in the screen game as well. Whereas Caleb Huntley is a straight line runner. He's trying to hit the home run, just trying to run the football. So the screen game is also in play as well. I'm not sure how y'all defend the screen, but that's also in play for Mariota.
That's probably something we're probably going to have to go after, is take away that type of plays. I mean, I guess to answer John Jay's question, I'm hearing that it's Lenore that's going to start outside, because they had him play outside corner after the injury to Mosley, and then they just played it safe and let Thomas play out there. But I'm guessing it's Lenore. Womack could move to the nickel spot. That's where we're going to need him the most, because that third nickel spot is somebody that we drafted in the 5th round, and he's looking okay, but I think we're going to slide Lenore to the outside, and we're going to move Womack to the nickel spot. So I think that's how we're going to match up the cornerbacks, because of the injuries, it's kind of difficult, but we have so many like problems to deal with. So we might have to see how you guys do against our other cornerback, because Lenore, he has his moments, and he's not like Ward. Ward is a different type of cornerback where if you throw the ball, forget about it. You might as well throw a different direction. But for Lenore, you can take your shots, bro. You can take your free shots. You want to test him. That's your best bet. If I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I want to take those deep shots on Lenore, see what he can do.
But the problem is, even when we take those shots, like, is Mariota going to hit him? Because he's not that accurate. That's the problem. So, like I said, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but everything comes down to Mariota. Even if you guys give us the most perfect look ever, guy running free, I still have concerns Mariota's going to hit him. And that's the problem. That's where I'm like, damn, I wish Desmond Ridder was in this game, because I know Desmond Ridder's going to hit him.
Yeah, that would be the one opportunity that you guys could do, is try to see if you can get Lenore beat on the coverage. But that would be the guy that will start this week. So, yeah, as far as all that, bro, what were you say?
So what I was going to say was, this game, in my opinion, reminds me of our win versus the Cleveland Browns. We beat the Cleveland Browns 23-20. Now, the Cleveland Browns had one of the best running games in the NFL, probably the best, with Chubb and them. We limited Chubb. So Chubb had 100 yards rushing on the ground, but we limited Kareem Hunt. But they were out Clowney, they were out Myles Garrett, and the Falcons took advantage of that. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Is this going to be the same type of game where you guys are out Bosa, you guys are out Kinlaw, you guys are out Armstead? Can the Falcons take advantage rushing the football? That's going to be, to me, the key, because Allgeier had 84 yards rushing, 8 yards a carry. He only had 10 carries and got 84 yards. So that's going to be the key. Do you think, in your opinion, if those three guys don't play, will it severely kill your run defense?
I think, as far as the way I've looked at it, like, having Bosa to me is like a big blow, because we're not going to be able to create the pressure as much. But I do like what I've seen from Drake Jackson when you put him into the rotation. I definitely like to see what he can do as getting more snaps. Our run defense, even without Kinlaw and Armstead, it's kind of been solid. Like, it's kind of like it's never missed a beat, to be honest with you. Like, Kevin Givens, he's very underrated, bro. Like, he's a good run stopper. Hassan Ridgeway, I think he's one of the most underrated signing in the offseason. We get him from the Eagles, bro. This guy's been good against the run. But when you look at, like, the way you're saying it, like, losing those type of key players, yeah, it may sound like we are missing a beat in that certain way, but I've seen the difference. Like, even without them, we have the right players to fill that spot. Like, it's not like a big drop off. It's like a maybe little drop off, very little.
And in that game, so we won 23-20. In that game, Mariota only threw 19 passes. He completed 7 of them. 7 out of 19 passes, 0 touchdowns. He threw a pick, and he only had 139 yards passing, and we still won the football game. Why? Because Huntley and Algier ran the football out. So that's when we win the games. The Buccaneers game, we fell a little behind. Mariota tried to throw our way back in the game. We lost the game. So, like I said, stick to the run. I think we can win a 23-20 type game versus the Niners. It has to be the exact same blueprint from the Browns game.
It has to be, because as long as Mariota is limited as a thrower and you guys have a good running game, that's where you guys are definitely going to have a better chance. But if it comes down to like him having to beat us, you said it's a good chance for us. So we definitely want to force him to throw the ball more. And those are where he gets a little off his passes. I've seen some games where he kind of misses throws right there. I'm like, how the hell does he miss that guy?
Yeah. But I'm finna get out, man. Are you?
Yeah. We're good to go, bro. Yeah, for sure, bro. But hey, I definitely appreciate you for being on the show. Yeah, maybe down the road, we'll definitely catch up once again, bro. But tell everybody else where they can find your channel, and we could definitely end on a high note, bro. I know it's been going on pretty long, but it's been pretty intriguing, man.
Yeah, maybe you can join my channel.
Yeah, for sure.
Make like a post game live about this game. Maybe we can do that.
Yeah,
but
let me know, bro. I'll have fun.
So you can find me on my channel, Jazzy Jeff Real Talk. No gimmicks. I'm bringing the real Falcons talk to real Falcons fans, and you can catch me on Twitter, same name, Jazzy Jeff Real Talk.
All right, bro, for sure. And as always, everybody, CG Ruthless and Jazzy Jeff Real Talk is out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey, go Falcons.
Go Niners, but hey, good luck, bro. Let the best